What I'm about to share with you are mistakes I made again and again for many years whenever I needed to learn music quickly. Don't make the same mistakes as I did. Let's talk about how to learn music fast. Well, first of all, I don't believe that our goal should always be learning music as quickly as possible. Even when the notes are not that difficult, it takes time for us to truly digest the notes and for the music to settle in us. It takes multiple run-throughs and live performances to feel that we really own the piece. But I know there are scenarios where we do have to learn a piece of music at a blazing speed. When we feel so strongly about being able to play a piece of music as soon as possible, we rush ourselves and lose the sight of the context, the big picture. And when this happens, it prevents our body and our mind to work together efficiently as one. To show you what I mean, I'm going to be talking about 5 specific don'ts when trying to learn music fast or just trying to learn music in general. Number 1, don't start by opening up the music and playing through the first few notes. Especially when you want to learn music fast, you have to start with the context. Let's say you're hiking a mountain for the first time. If you're an explorer and you love to be surprised, go ahead and take that first step. But if you want to get to the peak, saving your energy and time, you want to know the general route first. Where are the steepest slopes, where are the pathways, and where can you take a breather and rest? When you're cooking a dish for the first time, you want to know the ingredients and general timeline for each step of the cooking process. You don't want to start sauteing that chicken and then later find out that you actually need to go shop for 3 shallots. It's the same idea when it comes to learning music. Before going to your instrument and scrambling through a few bars of the music, you want to have the overall idea of the piece first. Its style, its time period, general structure, the key relationships, its meter, how the music flows. You don't have to do a full-on harmonic analysis, but noticing what applies to the whole piece and larger sections will allow you to make connections to the more detailed work that you will be doing later. So I suggest listening to the music with the score and getting an idea for the big picture. Are there any patterns or repetitions of sections? You can immediately tell. The more experience you have with your instrument and music in general, you're more ahead of the game in the beginning of the learning process. But I think there is some preliminary work that any level of player can do before going to the instrument and playing through the notes. Number 2, don't commit to a practicing schedule. You don't need that. You don't need to make grand plans like, I'm going to practice this piece 5 hours every single day. You know this kind of promises are easily broken and it only hurts your morale. Instead, focus on the outcome. Let's say you have to perform this piece in 2 months. Then you can make plans such as, in 7 weeks, I'm going to be able to play this piece for friends and family. In 6 weeks, I'm going to have this piece completely memorized. On a micro scale, you can make mini plans like, in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be able to play this super difficult passage hands together. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to be able to play this piece hands separately. Here, I recommend using that timer. Set that timer on and don't let any other distractions get in the way while you're practicing. So if you have a deadline, work backwards from it and set specific goals. I found that setting specific outcomes yields much better results than just committing to a number of hours of practice. Number 3, don't let your eyes be glued to the music. Your eyes will not be playing the music. Your fingers, your body, and your ears will be playing the music. When you're so focused on the visuals, you take attention away from the more important senses. Try to experience the music with all your senses, integrate all the senses. What you see, how it feels, and what you hear should work together to inform you on what to work on next. Brain learns best when you engage all your senses simultaneously. Number 4, don't just practice slowly. Practicing a passage slowly for an extended period of time is a waste of time. Instead, practice at your just manageable tempo. Your just manageable tempo is a tempo that you can play, but any faster, you'll be messing things up. You can practice your scales, arpeggios, and other technical exercises slowly, but doing it on an actual musical passage does not help when you're trying to learn music quickly. Push yourself out of that comfort zone and try to get a little bit closer to the actual tempo that you do want to play. Sometimes you surprise yourself and find out that you are actually able to play it at the tempo you'd want to play. It was just your mind holding you back. Number 5, do not wait to add the musical expressions. Students so often separate notes from expressions. When I'm able to play this passage, I'll add the dynamics in. When I'm able to play this in tempo, I'll try to figure out how the phrasing works. These are inefficient approaches. You know very well that playing a particular passage in forte requires a completely different muscle engagement than playing the same passage in piano. Your musical expression should be integrated into your practice from the very beginning. Try to take in as much of the music as possible every time you practice. That includes articulation, dynamics, and any other musical expressive tools that you can use to make your music more beautiful. Melody should sound like a melody and accompaniment should sound like accompaniment as soon as you're able to play the notes. Get used to playing it beautifully as soon as possible. In other words, don't wait to sound great. What are you waiting for? I know I said 5 tips, but here's a bonus. Don't trust your memory. Reach for that pencil and mark everything down. Your fingering, wrong notes, and any expressive markings that you keep forgetting to observe, mark them down. There's nothing more frustrating than just making the same mistake over and over again just because you didn't write it down. If you do something wrong over and over again, it'll become a habit. So before that happens, you want to mark it down and just fix it for good. So those are my ideas on how to learn music fast. So go ahead and try them in your practice. And let me know in the comments below what your favorite magic trick is for learning music well and efficiently. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video, and I hope to see you all in the next episode of A Pianist's Process.